Hi folks, thanks so much for joining us. And today is a really exciting day for Sigma because we are announcing officially a brand new lens for mirrorless cameras that we had previously said was in development. And the new lens is...
Ta-da! The Sigma 70-200mm F2.8 DG DN OS Sports. Ta-da!
You got it. You got it. Right.
In one.
It's a lens that has been very, very long awaited. It's been in development for a long time. We had begun to develop it and sort of gone back to the drawing board. So that's why it's taken a while, but it is an absolutely superb lens. I used it to film my son playing rugby at the weekend, and it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. It really, really is. It's so sharp and so fast. And we're just going to give you a quick flavour of what it can do and who it's for and all the features on it. So maybe just give you a 10-minute overview so you can get a feel for what this is all about. So
definitely, yeah. Well, again, the first thing, like any 70-200, everybody loves an f2.8 aperture. And the brilliant thing about this lens is the first sports line lens that we've produced that has an aperture ring on the lens itself. It can be locked, and it's got the lovely click sound.
Love that.
But then that can also be declicked with the switch just at the bottom down here. So any videographers out there can use this, pop it on their gimbal. Luckily, it's quite stable if you're putting it on a gimbal, and you don't get any of the click in your recording, which is brilliant. And also the 2.8, you get that really lovely shallow depth of field, perfect for low light. The lens also has a built-in our OS2 algorithm, which is part of the optical stabilization system. So that works out, and it makes it very good for low light conditions. You can handheld this really, really well, perfect for things like weddings, low light environment, sports, that kind of sort of things. So yeah, tons.
It's quite a new algorithm that. I think we developed it for the 60-600, I think that's right, isn't it? Which is about, what, 6 or 8 months old now. And it was a brand new kind of algorithm for how our optical stabilizer system works. And as Matt said, that gives about, so when it's zoomed out at 70mm, it gives 7.5 stops of stabilization, which is incredible. And zoomed in, it's 5.5 stops. So way more than the zoom lenses like this tended to have about a 4-stop advantage if it had stabilization, but now we're up to 5.5 to 7.5, so a huge advantage.
And as it's been developed for mirrorless systems as well, more recent cameras like your Panasonic S5s, your Sony A7s, they've got really good low light ISO control as well, so it can play into that to get some really impressive results.
So the barrel itself is, so I just flip the hood off here so you can take a look. The barrel itself is quite compact. It's
very small.
So this is the 100-400, which is quite a small lens, and you can see that that's f5 to 6.3 and that's f2.8. So you can see that for an f2.8 lens, it's pretty small, and it weighs in at 1,345 grams for the L-Mount version, and slightly less, maybe 5 grams less or something for the E-mount, but virtually the same weight. And it's an internal zoom and internal focusing lens, so when you turn the zoom or focus rings, the lens doesn't grow in size, it stays the same, so everything's internal, which is great.
Yeah, the lens elements in here are put into 2 groups, which move up and down the lens, so again, that's why it makes it internally. And each group of elements has a HLA motor, again, first introduced into the 60-600mm, which allows for really fast, really precise autofocusing, and virtually silent. So if you are in a hide, if you're shooting wildlife, if you're doing wedding photography, you're not going to be hearing the lens, so you're not disrupting proceedings effectively. So it's really clever that they've managed to compact it all into such a small lens.
The HLA motor is a super clever motor. I mean, it was kind of developed as a sort of a very fast and quiet and smooth and accurate focusing tool, and we first introduced it in the 60-600, and then it was in the 50mm. They're both very fast, but this is the first one that's got 2 of them in it, so it's ultra quick, and I mean, it's basically silent as well. You just can't really hear it, and even right up to your ear, you can't hear it focusing. No. So it's as good as silent, basically.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, incredible.
In terms of other features, the lens, like a lot of our global vision lenses have a whole host of switches on the side, very customizable. You've got your standard AF/MF switch, focus change. You've got your focusing limiter, so again, great if you've got busy scenes, if you're shooting through subjects, or if you want to speed up the focusing even more. You've got the OS on the side, so you've got optical stabilization mode 1, which is for your general type photography, good for everything. And then when you pop it onto mode 2, that is more of a active mode, so it's great for panning. It will keep the vertical motion, but disable the horizontal. So again, if you're shooting motorsport, for example, it would be counterintuitive if you're panning along, might cause extra blur. So you switch it into mode 2. And at the bottom, we've got the custom mode switch. So generally there's preset modes on here, but if you're using an L-mount lens, which this is, you can use the Sigma UD11 USB dock to be able to further customize the lens. So change your focusing limiters, you can change what that does, and you can program different parameters as well, which then are selected by using the custom switch at the bottom. So yeah, a whole host of options. You've also got these buttons here, which are autofocus lock switches. Again, these are pre-programmed, but you can use the camera's menu systems to be able to change what you want to do. There's 3 of them, so depending on how you're holding it, you can just quite easily press the buttons from wherever.
Yeah, I think on a Sony, for example, if you get the Sony version of this lens, within the Sony menu system, you can probably, there's probably 100 or so different things that you can program those to. So, and they're quite well positioned so that they kind of sit over the thumb. So if you're holding it like that, you've got one on the thumb there, but there's also one there and one there. So whichever position you've got the lens in, there's always kind of one right next to your thumb. So it's very, very handy. Which
ties in well to the Arca Swiss type compatible foot. So again, this is standard now on a lot of our lenses that have a long zoom range. So yeah, Arca Swiss compatible still has a 1/4 inch thread on the bottom. So if you are just using your other types of tripod that don't take Arca Swiss, it is also, if I unlock this here, switch around to 90 degrees, you can hear a little click as well, so you know it's quite defined. So if you've got it onto a tripod, you can quite easily justify where the manual point is.
Yeah.
And then that way, even though it's sideways, you've still got access to the autofocus lock switches onto the side, which is really handy.
Yeah, it's super useful. That having that dovetail foot, it means you don't need, assuming you've got an Arca Swiss tripod, which most are these days, it means that you don't have to have a separate plate. So you know that you're putting your plate on the bottom of the camera and you've got to get a screwdriver and screw it to make sure it's tight enough and then no way slip, all that stuff.
Especially in the cold.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it because it's built into the lens, so that just goes straight onto the tripod head and you're away. And like Matt said, with this thing here, this collar, you just loosen that screw, and then obviously your camera's on the back, and then you can just turn your camera and lens into portrait orientation, and then back into landscape so easily, and then just tighten it up and away you go. Yeah. So super intuitive design. So there's also this lens hood that comes with it. This is made of carbon fiber reinforced plastic, so it's very strong, very light, and it's got the screw lock on it. So some lens hoods go on and turn like a bayonet fit. This is a screw fit, so you pop it on, tighten it up, and there you go. And it's got a rubberized end, so if you put your lens down like that, it doesn't kind of damage anything. It's just nice and stable and grippy. Yeah. So that's it in a nutshell, really, isn't it? It's a fantastic lens. It really is amazing, and I think it's been a while. People have been asking for this lens for a while. It's been a while waiting for it, but it's worth the wait.
It's been requested quite a lot.
Excellent. Yeah. So the next question is how much?
Right. So the price of the 70-200 2.8 DG DN OS is £1,499, and it's coming out very soon. The official launch is on the 7th of December. So not long to wait. Perfect. Just in time for Christmas.
That is an absolute bargain.
Absolute bargain.
An absolute bargain. When we first heard about this lens being developed, we of course didn't know what the price was going to be. And when I heard that it was $1,499, I was like, that is an awesome price. When you look at the quality of this lens against what else is out there, the competition, this is absolutely superb. It's an absolute bargain.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, again, hopefully the images that we've shown. Again, if you go onto the Sigma UK website, there's a whole image gallery on there of beautiful images taken from Sigma subsidiaries and photographers from around the world. So definitely check those out. Full details are on that page as well. And if you have any other more information, stay tuned on our YouTube channel, because there'll be some extra videos released today as well, showing what this lens is capable of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's also worth mentioning that this completes our big three trio, which is the 14 to 24, the 24 to 70, and the 70 to 200 in mirrorless. So those other two lenses are already out, of course. So this is the third in the series. So a lot of photographers use those three together because it gives 14mm right through to 200mm at f2.8 with no gaps. So it's a really good kind of professional setup. So that's it's really nice to have that complete and finished. And I know a lot of photographers have been waiting for that exact reason, that they want all three in their kit bag. So
yeah, won't be disappointed on this one. Definitely
no,
not.
Definitely not. Okay, well, I think that's about it from us. Yeah. Don't forget, you can pre-order this lens right now at any good photo retailer for release on the 7th of December. And you can check out more details, specs, information, images on our website, sigmauk.com. So we will see you soon for the next one.
See you soon.
Cheers.
See ya.